So welcome everybody. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us for the next 50 minutes. Jackie and myself are going to go over SEALs in Nevada, setting up students for success. So the state of Nevada does offer 5 now different SEALs that really helps build the portfolio for our students in Nevada. And today I have, I'm blessed every day to work with this next individual. But we'll just kind of introduce ourselves, tell you what we do, what we oversee, kind of what our work is. I am Janie, the one in the red. We are both blondes. Blondes have the most fun, for sure. And we definitely have it in our office. I'm over social studies, and that includes financial literacy and multicultural education, as well as world language, distance and digital learning. And Jackie and I both lead the Nevada Digital Learning Collaborative and Canvas throughout our state. So we do lots of work together. And then Jackie introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I oversee K-12 core computer science, educational technology, and STEM instruction. And all that stuff with Janie. We do a lot of stuff together. And I wish I could say it was a natural blonde, Janie. Thank you for that compliment, but no more.
You're welcome. Yeah. So today we're just going to kind of run through what are our SEALs, why we should get them, just what it is, the different areas of which your students can earn SEALs, how to get them, and then any questions that you may have. So we're just going to kind of run through that. We have lots of information, so we'll show you where and how you can get access to information so that you and your students can really work to build so that we can increase our SEALs. Jackie?
So like Janie mentioned earlier, we have 5 SEALs currently available. 1 SEAL emblem is not represented on here because it is in production, we shall say. So we have the SEALs of Biliteracy, STEAM, STEM, Financial Literacy, and Civics. They all have a different set of requirements. Some of them are overlapping, specifically GPA and the inclusion of some form of assessment, but they are all available to high school students.
Okay, so the SEAL of Biliteracy is for world language. And so this is when a student who can show proficiency in speaking more than one language other than English. And so one of the requirements is they must have a 2.0, and that is on a 4-point scale. They must also meet the proficiency in areas of all 4 components in a world language assessment, meaning they must earn all intermediate, mid levels in speaking, listening, writing, and in reading. They also, another way to score this assessment is also through an AP exam. So this has to be a language AP exam. So Spanish, for example, you must earn a 3 or above in Spanish lang. You cannot, this does not work for Spanish literature. So if a student does take Spanish literature, they cannot use that assessment for the SEAL because it does not test all 4 components. There are multiple types of assessments to test proficiency. They all do have a cost behind them. And that is the cost is per the district or school and or student to actually own. It is dependent and it does vary across the state. I would say the most common form of assessments are the Apple test, the stamp test, and the OPI test. Of all of those assessments, the stamp test is the least expensive. I believe it's $21, and that does test all areas. Currently in our state, we are actually looking on building a world language portfolio way to assess our students. So if there is a language that is not common or it is not accessible through a different assessment, we want to give ways for our students to be able to also earn the SEAL. A great example of this is multiple Native American languages. So Paiute, for example, if a student wanted to earn Paiute, we are actually building a portfolio so that students can actually then earn that SEAL. I would say another area that is of use for the portfolio would be American Sign Language. Apple, as you see on the slide, the ASLPI test is very costly. So that's not something that is readily available, I would say, to most of our students. Apple is also planning on offering an assessment for the seal biliteracy. However, it is not available yet. And I do not know what that cost will be, which is why we want to add that to the portfolio. The other additional requirements outside of these proficiency assessments is that students have to earn 4 credits in their English language arts. So they have to earn 4 credits, which means they have to pass all of their 4 credits of English. And then they have to, by demonstrating their passing, they are demonstrating that they are English proficient. The WIDA assessment does not work in our state for assessing for English. Next, we have the seal for civics. This is actually beginning this school year. And like Jackie had alluded to, we do not have an actual seal yet for this because it is and will be in current production. In 5 days on National Civics Day, we're actually launching a student contest for students to actually create what that seal could look like. So please stay tuned over the next week to see this. For the civics seal, students have to earn a 3.25 on a 4.0 or a 3.85 weighted. They have to demonstrate 90% or above on the civics exam. So every student to graduate high school is required to take this civics assessment. This assessment is identical to the United States citizenship test. And on the section that is only civics, it's about 56 to 58 questions, it ranges. They must earn a 90% or above. Students can only take that assessment twice to do that. They also have to satisfy a citizenship score, meaning there is a citizenship score that the students will be evaluated on. They must be at the meets category for satisfactory. Students must also complete a service learning project, and then they must earn 3 credits in social studies. So this is not an exhaustive list, but this is just some ideas of what that could be. So there are lots of social studies core classes. 3 credits are required to graduate, but then there's also additional ways that students can earn that. So students must have those 3 credits. The next one is the seal of financial literacy. This was actually completed last year. And so this is really going to be the first year that students can actually earn this assessment. Again, they need a 3.25, which is pretty common. They have to score an 85% on the financial literacy assessment that we have created at the Department of Education. So that is actually a free assessment that all schools can access. This can be taken via paper or through Microsoft Forms or through Google Forms. So we have an electronic version and a paper version. They have to, if they don't take that assessment, they have to have a B or higher on a college level course that's in financial literacy. So that could potentially be a dual credit course in financial literacy or some type of course that really is focused on FinLit. Or if they do take the ACT National Career Readiness Certificate through the CTE areas, they have to score a gold or above. And then again, they have to earn 3 credits in social studies in order to be able to earn this seal for financial literacy. You'll also see here that this is not an exhaustive list, but these are a list of courses that students can actually take.
So the STEM and the STEAM seals are very similar. And like the 3 seals that Janie mentioned, they do have a GPA requirement and some course requirements in addition to assessment requirements. The GPA requirements are there above, similar to the other ones Janie went through, 3.25 on a standard scale, 3.85 weighted. Students are required to complete 3 credits of science and 4 credits of math in order to graduate high school. They do have to pass those classes. In addition to those, students have to take a full year course in any of those course descriptions listed there. So computer science, engineering, CTE pathways, manufacturing. It is important to note that the half credit computer science class that all students have to take for graduation is not, does not meet that requirement. So they would have to take another course outside of that if they were going to focus on computer science. So it could be any of one of the computer science courses in the CTE pathways or computer science, like cybersecurity, something like that. They also need to satisfy any one of those assessment requirements. So they could do an AP exam, IB exam for the International Baccalaureate exams, or schools out there. There's SAT and ACT cut scores. Students who are doing dual enrollment, like Jumpstart or other programs that are offered in their schools or districts, they need to get a B or higher in that science or math class. And then the last option is to get a gold or higher on the ACT National Career Readiness Certificate. So there's lots of options out there for the kids on how to get the STEM seal. And then for STEAM, go ahead and go to the next. It's very, very similar, almost identical, except it adds that fine arts requirement. So in addition to the science, math, and then the computer science, engineering, manufacturing, those other, we'll call them technology, or I don't know, we'll just call them like CTE courses for right now. They have to do that fine arts credit. Same things, they have the assessment requirements below that mirror the requirements for the STEM seal. So the inclusion of the fine arts just really hits more students who may be interested in some of the arts, and it provides more opportunity for them in that sense.
So one of the benefits and the why. So when we think about why should students think about earning the seal? So this really is about demonstrating, right, higher learning and rigor of coursework. When students are looking at building their portfolio, especially in high school, and they're thinking of what their learning journey should consist of, we really want our students to really start thinking about what their future may look like. And every student's future may not be a four-year college or a community college, right? It might be a different CTE program, or it might be a different tech program, or they might want to join a journeyman or an apprenticeship. And so different other vocational aspects that students might want to get into that are absolutely right worthy of our students, and students should, particularly of interest, join those different areas. We want to ensure that we're building, right, that portfolio that's going to help that student become civic and community ready after high school. And so with the seals, it does give a more of a holistic picture of what the students can and cannot do. It is an increased element of rigor because the coursework is much higher than, I would say, just of a standard diploma. Right, not only reflected in the GPA, but it's also reflective in the coursework itself, some of the assessments that students will have to take, and then just adding different levels that the students could also then apply to for different diploma options. So if students were to opt for an advanced diploma and or the college and career ready diploma, a lot of those areas students are taking to advance in those diploma options, they would actually then also fit for some of these areas with the seal. So I would highly encourage families, teachers, students themselves to really talk with their peers, but with others on why these seals should be important. Another area of a benefit is the potential for college credits and entrance support. So as students are looking at going into higher education, there are many colleges around the country that currently accept seals as for a college credit. Currently in Nevada, they do not accept the college credit for a seal itself. They do for AP exams and some IB scores. We are actually currently working with higher education for that potential ability in our state. It is not here yet, and we are starting that process to work with them to see if that's a possibility. But I can tell you that I know for the seal by literacy, many colleges around our nation do take that seal for a credit, either as an elective or for the world language. It also has increased markability. So when students have the seal, so every seal that they earn, and your students can earn more than one seal. It is not only affixed on the transcript, so it's noted on the transcript, it's also affixed to the diploma itself. So the seal pictures that you saw the previous slides are actually the seals themselves that are affixed to the actual diploma. And then, so then it really does distinguish them between their peers. I would say it increases career marketability because so I can speak a lot with like the seal of biliteracy. If students are multilingual, that is a strong skill that many of our employers are reaching out saying that would be beneficial. And I would venture to guess with the STEAM and the STEM seal, especially going into different areas of engineering, computer science, technology, this is going to uptake them, right? And then when they're job interviewing, this is something that's going to be really beneficial for them, as well as then distinguishing them from other interviewees on why they should get the job, right? It just says and showcases more experience. Again, along with that side, it opens up future possibilities as far as what employments are available for our students, right? To say that in some areas to already have these skill sets, and especially in some of the areas of STEAM and STEM and Finlit and Civics, because due to some of the assessments that the students are taking, it is going to set them apart. And then they can walk into a potential job or a job level that maybe their peers could not. And then just lastly, it does advance, and it can help input their trajectory for what their career advancement can look like for their future. Again, we want to give our students every possibility that is out there to be successful and to actually, do more with the actual K-12 learning than maybe some would think that they have. I think by getting and earning the different SEAL options can actually allow our students with opportunities that they may not know were actually for them. And I think this is a way that we can actually help highlight those opportunities and really help push them as those opportunities that they may not have gone involuntarily. Jackie, am I missing anything or anything you would like to add or share?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that in conversation with a lot of industries, specifically in the technology field and computer science, a lot of these companies are willing and interested in hiring high school graduates straight out of high school. And these seals really gives them a leg up on their application. A lot of businesses now recognize the need to build their employment from high school graduates and support them going through college if that's their choice, or in any training that's related to the industry. Even just yesterday, I met with some folks and they said that they would take high school graduates who have skills in who demonstrate academic knowledge, but also have skills in problem solving and critical thinking, which is required for many of these SEALs. They would take them over somebody who had 20 plus years experience and wasn't able to be a problem solver or critical thinker or collaborator. So these SEALs really do give kids a leg up. And like Janie mentioned, some of these requirements are already required for one of the diplomas. So if a kid is on that track, why not just share the information with them so that they could, have the seal to put on their resume, their transcript, their diploma as well.
So when we think about then so how do my students get involved? How do my students learn? Where do they need to go? So the first person that I would recommend that students contact outside of the educator of these areas. So obviously, right, for a world language, it's going to be, for the seal biliteracy would be world language. I would definitely have students talk to their world language teachers first. If it's civics and financial literacy, I would definitely have them speak to their social studies teachers. For STEAM and STEM, for sure, their math, science, or computer science teachers, even their fine arts teachers, right? Because that component is necessary for the STEAM. From there, students should definitely contact their school counselor. The school is definitely the first contact. I get lots of emails from students and from parents asking how they can apply for the seal in different areas. I will always send that student and that parent back to the school counselor itself. Each district in our state does implement the seal a little bit differently, and they may have more requirements outside of what we're saying is required. The requirements that you saw in this presentation were requirements from legislation that had passed. Some districts choose to add more additional criterion points, and that is up per your district. So you definitely want to ensure that you are talking to your school and your district leads as far over these areas. The school counselor at every single school should have information relating to the different seal options. They're going to be your best and your first point of contact so that students can know whether or not that they can achieve a seal. Students have to start thinking about the seal and if they want the seal in middle school and into their freshman year. For some of these seals, in particular, the STEM and the STEAM seal, they will have to start thinking about this in their freshman year in order to make the requirements. The next individual I would say is a great point of contact would be your school administrator. So if the counselor is not getting back to you or isn't supplying answers, please then speak to your school administrator. And then lastly, we will give you our information, and then please contact us. We can give it then the overall information as far as what's necessary. But then you want to definitely contact us if you are still have questions that are not being answered. When it comes to the actual seal itself, like the actual sticker that goes onto the diplomas and how it's noted from the transcript, that is done at your district and your school. The seals are purchased typically by the school itself or sometimes the district. The seal by literacy, I can tell you that every district does that a little bit different as far as what the stickers are. So there, it's an actual like sticker that goes onto the diploma. Those are purchased by the district and or school. It just depends on each district. The seal of financial literacy, I can actually tell you I had funding. So I have actually purchased, I think we have 100,000 stickers. So I will actually be sending those out and collecting an interest of how many that they would need per district and schools. And I can supply those for actually a little while until we have 100,000 that earn the seal. Additionally, with the FinLit, the first 100 students that earn that seal will get a green cord that they can wear at graduation. With the Civics seal, I am also getting funding to be able to make and purchase those seals as well. Jackie, do you want to talk about the STEAM and the STEM seal as far as how they access those?
Yeah, so it's my understanding, and I could be completely, they've had some transition in the Governor's Office of Science, Information, and Technology, which they are the contact. In addition to myself, they can help in getting the seal on the diploma. But again, the school would request that for the student. I put into the chat the link to the OSIT website that lists all the requirements as well, just same as it was in our presentation, and how like the Senate bill that was addressed, all that information is in there. It is a sticker, just like the other ones that go on the diploma. And I believe they are still trying to, I need to follow up on this because of the transition of people in that office. They are recognizing those individuals also on the website who earn that each year. But as the numbers increase, I'm not sure the sustainability of that. It would be nice if they did, but yeah, in a state this size, I don't know if that is possible.
And we do on our website, we don't do to FERPA. We can't release the students who have earned it, but we do release, and we do have the overall numbers. So for the seal by literacy, so since the inception of the seal by literacy was the first seal, and that was actually passed in 2015. And since 2016, when students could start earning the seal, it has increased in numbers. And I can say that last year, about 2,600 students earned the seal by literacy. And so it has increased. This is going to be the first year for Civics and FinLit. And I know last year was a great, like really launch year for STEAM and STEM. And I think they had close to 1,000 students, correct, Jackie, that earned the STEAM and the STEM. So it's just great opportunities to recognize. We cannot, again, like release names as far as who has received them, but those are things that your school can do. And different schools and different districts do honor their students who earn the seals in different ways. And that is up to the districts and schools to determine what they want to do and how they want to do that. Anything else, Jackie, that we need to talk about with the point of contact for students?
No, I just think it's really important to stress that the school, they're going to be the best point of contact because they're the best support for those kids. They have access to all of the course catalogs, the assessments that are available, all that kind of information. So if a student is interested in this, then their school counselor and or administrator will be the best person to provide guidance in how to get that seal.
We did want to leave some time for questions. We get a lot of questions relating to the seals, and so we wanted to give at least 15 or so minutes to really establish and allow questions. Some can be lengthy. So with that, questions that we can answer. No questions.
There is a question in the chat. It's asking, is it possible for a student to earn them all?
Yes, so a student can definitely earn all of them. They just have to fulfill all the requirements. So the first place to start, I would definitely say, is the GPA. If the GPA isn't at least a 3.25 or above, that student will have a difficult time earning the seal, any of the seals. But yes, absolutely. They would have to ensure all those criterion points are hit, but they absolutely can earn them all. This is going to be the first year where all 5 are attainable. So this is going to be, it's interesting to see what actually happens with students and how they do.
Jane, you want to put the link to the Civics seal? Do you have a website with those requirements?
So not yet. So the Civics seal, I will say, just was finalized actually 3 days ago. So we actually just finalized the final requirements. And so they will be attainable on the website. So we will put that up on our website and also through Canvas. So if you don't know, but you can join Canvas with, we have an information hub in Canvas where this information will be found as well. But just to recap with the Civics seal, again, they need to have the GPA requirement. They need to get a 90% or above on the actual civics assessment. They need to score a satisfactory in a citizenship, which we have created a rubric to what that will look like and how students will earn that. And then students have to complete a service learning project. And so the service learning project will actually then be essentially scored, but then students will have to fulfill what that project would look like. And that is I would say the most rigorous part of the actual civic seal itself is actually doing a service learning project. And so there will be guidance as far as what that will be and include. We do not tell students what they have to do for their service learning project. It really should be based off of interest, but it really is about helping their community. So for example, volunteering at a hospital is not service learning, so that would not count. And so we do provide guidance as far as what that is, what's required in that, and so forth like that. And then they do have to have the courses and earn passing grades in those courses in social studies.
So Bonnie, I see your question in the chat. There isn't a full course listing for that requirement because it would be a really extensive list. Each school and each district has different course offerings. I will say for computer science, it would be computer science principles, CSA, or it's actually changing. It's going to be CS1, CS2, or the AP version of those courses. Engineering, it could be any engineering course. Same with manufacturing. It could be like agricultural mechanics, things like that, electronics. Any of the courses that fall within those information media technologies pathways for CTE, which includes, I'm spacing on, I think they just call it IT design. They might be changing the name of that. Cybersecurity, robotics. I don't believe graphic design does anymore. Let me look for the listing of that on the CTE page about the courses within that specific pathway.
And we do have pamphlets and one pagers that we send out to districts to help just with collecting this information and sharing it with families and students. And we'll make sure that that's also up on the information hub for Canvas. And so, and we'll also resend it to districts, curriculum directors and counselors, head counselors in the district so that they do have that. Please reach out to your school counselors if they need more information or they need the actual, pamphlets and things. They can reach out to us and we can send it to them so that they have access to that. And you can either keep it electronically or print it out for your schools and for your families and students so that they're well aware of what these criterion points are. Other questions? The biggest thing to remember is that we want to have our students and give them every opportunity possible, right, to have all the experiences that they need to be most successful after high school. So I think that in following the lines of the SEALs can really help with that. We do want to make sure we talk with our students at a young age. So really getting into high school so that they understand what these opportunities are. So one of the things that we advise counselors, especially in academic planning in their 8th grade year into their freshman year, that they do kind of have these discussions and see if any of these SEALs could be a possibility, right? But as we all know, everybody's busy and sometimes we forget. And so we all have to help one another and help our students so that they learn what's out there for them. So with that, any other questions or thoughts or comments? Feel free to turn your mic on and ask us. No question is too small. We have this time, we have about 10 minutes left.
Are there going to be any new SEALs coming in the pipe works right now?
As of right now, no, not unless new legislation is going to appear. We are coming into a legislation session. So, right, we meet every other year and we meet in the odd years. I have not heard of anything for any other SEALs. Is there one, Tommy, that you're interested in that you would like to see?
Not specifically, but I know like STEM and STEAM, they're just so closely related, and all it is one class. And I mean, it doesn't, because I'm in performing arts, and so it just doesn't, like, I don't know. I just have like one kid, like a kid just taking one class in like a performing arts, and that, like, or fine art or whatever it is, and that's all it separates STEAM and STEM, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah.
it's just that one class that separates the two.
Yeah. Well, and I would encourage you to, as right members and residents of Nevada, you can always talk to your local legislators and always ask, and you can actually say, hey, we would like this and to do this. And so that is something, if you are very passionate about and if you care about, you can absolutely put forth. SEALs we cannot actually put forth SEALs without legislation. So they are backed by legislation. And so they drive the criterion points and the requirements. And in order to change them, that would also require change in legislation, or to add some would require change of legislation. I will just talk to you about in the Civics seal itself. So within the Civics seal, we are also creating civics excellence programs where schools can be distinguished as civic excellence schools as well as individuals. And those requirements will actually be coming out this year, and the Civic Seal will be a part of that. So really about trying to build programs to really honor all the hard work and great things that are happening in our schools in these areas. But that is also coming with the Civics Excellent programs. Is there a platform for middle school to get prepared for these classes so they know? When you say platform, Christina, what do you mean by platform?
Like giving them some kind of like idea of what they can do while they're in high school. So when they get to high school, they're not surprised in their freshman year going, oh, I need to do this, this, and this. Like, you know, some kind of write-up saying that this is what you guys can earn when you get into high school to go either to college or technical or wherever they're going, so they can be prepared. Because some of the 8th graders that I know are very, very articulate. They know what they want, but there's like no understanding of how to get there.
Yes.
So when they get to high school, then they're like, I didn't know that. And parents are like, I didn't know that either.
For sure. So I would definitely encourage counselors. I know that there are many schools that do transition walks right from 8th grade to their freshman year. They may have the counselors that may come down from high school to talk to middle school. You know, and I would definitely encourage them to be talking about these seal options. Like I said to you, we do have literature, we have pamphlets, we have one-pagers, we have information that we can ensure that we share. So Christine, like if you know for certain that like your middle school doesn't have this, please reach out and we can get it to you and to your counselors so that they can share this information. Hopefully, right, when students are transitioning from one level to the next, these options are being shared, but it does get difficult because you forget, right? Because there's a lot to talk about. Like there's a lot, not just with classes and core classes, but there's activities and there's sports and right, there's clubs. And when they get to high school, it is overwhelming. So one of the things, like I said, we are encouraging with our school counselors is to really include this conversation in their academic planning, both in middle school and in high school. And so hopefully that is happening and that is occurring. But we don't have a platform per se outside of our website. So the website will have this information as well as in Canvas. Great, other questions? We provide all secondary students access to career information systems so that every secondary student has access to learning more about career requirements and how to attain their career choice. So yes, so hopefully your school, and if not, Dolly, please email me. I don't know if your school is using NEPRIS. So NEPRIS is something that is actually all schools can access right now. And that is exactly what that is about helping our students understand different career options. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, please reach out to me and we can get that information to you. But there is some great stuff that you can actually do with that so that you can show your students what they need to be able to know and do relating to whatever career that they may want to go into. And that's also too what the seals can actually help. If you have a student who's earning the STEM seal, right, and maybe the FinLit seal or the Civics seal, maybe more than one, but they're very interested in that can help them, right, make those post-secondary choices, because that's probably something of interest. So we definitely want to highlight those and ensure that our students are doing something that they want to do and that they love, because then we know they're going to stick with it for sure. It highlights the career choices in Nevada for certain. So it's all about what is available in Nevada. There are other websites that you can go on to research and do some career choices. I will tell you, we are currently building 2 electives, one for middle school and one for high school, all about different career options and what you can do that will be accessible in Canvas throughout this year. So stay tuned for that as well. many of our kids don't know what's available to them, right? They don't know what's out there. So, and there's lots of careers in Nevada that's not in the hospitality industry. And so we do want to be able to showcase what is actually available, right? Students can be engineers, they can work in the military, right? We have agricultural careers. There's quite a few careers that get definitely, I would say, overshadowed by the hospitality industry, because that is our main business. Any other questions? Well, you will see our emails are here. So please feel free to reach out to us for anything or any question that you have, or if you do need any help, support with literature or pamphlets or anything of that nature, because we will be able to help you. Even if you don't remember who is who, you can either email either one of us or both of us, and we'll get to the information that you do need. Jackie and I do work in the same office, and we do work very close together, so we can definitely look and provide that support.
Sure.
So we can legislate, but so that Dolly, I would definitely say, so can you. So please reach out to your legislators, and you can say, hey, we would like this and do this. And so those are always possibilities. I would also say too, schools have funding that they can do to support different programs. And so definitely reach out to your administrators and say, hey, this is something that would be really, really beneficial for our students. And I would definitely say, be that strong voice for your students, because that's what we want to do. We want to advocate for our students and make sure they have what they need to be most successful post-secondary.